Welcome to my show. My name is Marcell Johnson, and this is The Freedom Experience.
You be cutting up, bro. Man, welcome back to the Freedom Experience. I'm super excited you guys are here today. Man, I just want to, first of all, thank you for continue to come back and watch and just be on this journey with me. But I ask that you would comment, like, subscribe, and share with a friend. But I'm excited to say, man, that I have somebody here with me who is a great friend of mine. His name is Chris Sammarone.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It is an honor, truly, man. It is an honor to be on the Freedom Experience.
Let's go.
This is just a platform for people to express themselves.
That's right.
To have good dialogue and conversation.
That's right.
And for brothers like us to have a good time getting down to the bottom of it.
Come on, bro. Look, he did the intro better than me. This is why this is my brother. I love my brother, man. So he is an owner, the CEO of Upcode Studios. I don't know if y'all know about them, but I literally work with Upcode Studios too. But he is the founder, the owner, and I mean, this business is booming, and it's basically digital marketing, but it's a lot of other things too. So tell them a little bit about the business.
Yeah, thank you, bro. And I mean, you did a very, very good rendition in there. Thank
yeah,
you.
Facts.
So
I always got you covered.
Upcode Studios is a platform-based service where we have innovative digital solutions for all sorts of different companies. Everything from pizza shops to medical clinics to someone who's starting an art business in their garage. You know, really anything that you're doing. We have website builders. We have drag and drop mobile app builders. We have social media dashboards.
Drag and drop, you guys, means like you can do it yourself. So like, I love that about the website and everything, just not to cut you off, but I love how the business is like, even if you're like, listen, I want to build my own website, you can go through Upcode and be able to do that. And it's super easy.
Listen, it's so simple. I remember when I first started my DJ business back in, when was that?
Maybe the DJ. Bro was like,
this was a long time ago. But it was so difficult, you know, building a website, getting social content out there for someone who really didn't know much about it. It was a struggle.
Exposure.
So you stumble through these things. Sometimes you contract someone and pay them money that you don't have.
That's right.
Or you start to build something and you make these mistakes that you just didn't have the awareness of. And that's where our platforms really step in and help save you years of time. You know, for super small rates, you can just jump right in, get that full digital presence, and even get traffic to your brand to start converting right away.
Yeah, so not to be like a sales pitch, but when you guys see me marketing and doing stuff for the Freedom Experience, it'll be through Upcode because, you know what I mean? First of all, this is my brother. Second of all, it's just a great service and a great platform that I really think will help you and be able to, take your business to the next level.
And a big part about what we work with here is getting your message right. And this transcends way beyond your business. This is something that's important about your life and your soul and your spirit, because you have to know, Marcell, you're the king of this. You have to know your identity. If you don't know your identity, then when the pressure is on or you're trying to grow, try to get to that next level, you're going to be reminded why you do need to know it.
So hold on, man. So let's get into this real fast, because the way that Upcode was even created and stuff like that, like tell them how you were in college and how everything, like this is because you never know the situations and the challenges that you're facing. Your answer is like right there with you. The very thing you're looking for is sitting right there in that problem. But go ahead, bro.
Yeah, and I'd be lying if I said that it was easy. Every single business owner who's made it anywhere knows the quickest way to success is failure.
Facts.
So I remember, when was it, 2011, 2012, I was in college. I thought I was going to be a chiropractor. You know, it seemed like the best lifestyle. People come in, you fix their pain, they thank you for it, you get paid. What a good day.
He always wanted to help.
Wanted to help people, truly. But, you know, as I got into the classes, I did very well in school, all A's and B's. But, I mean, there was no sleep at all. And as I started to realize the responsibility of being a medical professional, the weight started to hit me. Because if you mess up on the job, you could paralyze someone in their seat for the rest of their lives. And that was something that seemed a little bit tough. So I started exploring other options, and now I know that this was the Holy Spirit, but I had a great friend come into my life. and he loved building websites and digital applications. And he showed me a little bit of what was possible. And I know now that this was the Holy Spirit. But an opportunity fell right into my lap. I had the chance to build a website for my landlord, and you know, it saved me a whole year's worth of rent. Allowed me to survive in college, and made that sharp pivot. You know, and from there, it was a matter of 3 or 4 years of failing every possible way that I could, trying to get more clients, trying to make relationships, trying to understand my identity and understand how to differentiate to make myself stick out.
Yeah, exactly. And he went through so much stuff. But one thing I wanted you to hit on that he didn't hit on that I wanted to express to you guys is that he was in college. And a lot of people go to college with the intention of graduating. And he was in college, but he had to make a decision to leave college, something that his parents put money into, something that everybody was expecting from him. And he had to step out and follow his dream. He had a revelation while he was in college, like, this isn't it. And sometimes we do things thinking that that's it, but it's like, this ain't it. Like, this isn't it. And it's okay to change your mind. And he changed his mind, and he didn't allow fear to keep him in college. A lot of people change their mind, but they're like, I'm going to just do it because my parents, or you know what I mean, for whatever. But he was willing to step out on faith to go ahead and pursue that business. So how was it making that decision to say, I'm going to walk away from college, which everybody wants this college degree. That's like the American dream, to get a degree. And you know what I mean? But you changed the narrative and you said, you know what, I'm going to become an entrepreneur, a business owner, and I'm not going to do what the crowd says to do. How did you do that?
It's humbling, and it's really the pressure that changes you.
Yeah.
I remember there's 2 weeks where I couldn't pay my rent. I didn't have groceries.
Yeah.
I begged the neighbor. I said, hey, can you get me some bologna and some whole wheat?
And I only made
I don't eat that stuff anymore either. But like,
but it's okay if you do.
Yeah, it's totally fine. It's good.
Exactly.
But you do what you can, and you make it through. I had multiple members of my family. I had mentors come in and say, Chris, you're never going to make it.
Right.
I know you have this dream, but you're so far from it. And guess what happened? Yeah, it was 4 or 5 years of trying something and failing and trying something and failing. But eventually, you exhaust all the ways that you can fail and you begin to succeed. Yeah. And if it's what you truly want, it can become your wildest dreams. Like, it's crazy that in 2012, this little faith of a mustard seed started. And I had no idea that it would lead me to my wife. I had no idea that it would lead me to my best man.
Hold on, we're going to get into this.
Yeah,
hold on, because go ahead.
I had no idea all the joy and love and the foundational spiritual elements of my life that would come just because of the path that I chose. So I know it can be watered down and you can say it's a career. I know kids going through high school, going into college, I know the pressure. It's a lot. And you're scared. You want to put all your time into it. You're like, I don't need relationships. I don't need friendships. All these people don't matter. No, this is what you need. You need people who care about you in your life. You need a good team.
So hold on. So this is what I want to get into next. All of that is definitely awesome. And all of that is what is the reason why he's like such a close friend of mine. But I wanted to get into the way that you pick team out, because you have to be very strategic on the people you allow in your circle. And I love the fact that you're able to have the discernment to say, you're a great person, but you're not for my team. You're good for this and good for that connection. You're a great brother, but you're not for the team. And it's just like amazing, because you picked me to be a part of the team. And it's just like, as I became more involved and as I like started to elevate, I sat back and I just said, he shows some wisdom with his discernment, with his decision making when it comes to people. What makes you do that, and where did that come from?
There's a lot of great things that go into building a team. If you're looking for a book or some long-form version of it, John Maxwell has some epic books on team building. He's
beast.
Great.
Yeah, we have that book.
There's some misconceptions, I think. A big one is loyalty.
Come on.
When you're building a team, a lot of people think that loyalty is just someone who agrees with you, someone who is always on the same page with you. No. But it's a little bit more than that. Mm-hmm. Loyalty someone can be extremely loyal to you and disagree with you often.
Facts.
And that's something I actually found in Marcell.
Facts, because I keep it 100. I got to tell the truth.
But that's what makes sometimes a really good team.
Exactly.
And loyalty means someone is actually making the dent into the progress with you.
Yeah.
They're there in the craft that you're doing, sharpening you where your sword is meeting the ground.
Yes, bro. I love that. So you have to get people around you, even if they challenge you a little bit, but they're loyal to you. That means that you need to have them in your circle. So you don't need a lot of yes men. Yes men will destroy you. And you did a good job at doing, navigating through that whole thing. So when it comes to like your business and it comes to your relationships, Naomi, who is his wife, is who you found. And she's a part of the team. She's a big part of the team. So tell them like how that whole thing played out really quickly.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Naomi is the love of my life.
Come on.
We just got married a little over 2 weeks ago.
Shout out to my sister. What's up, Nose?
It was a beautiful wedding. Everything went perfect. God's hand was all over it.
Yeah, beautiful wedding, man.
You know, it's beautiful how he allowed us to work together and allowed us to become a beautiful and holy union together through my company. And it's something that everyone has these stigmatisms like, you know, hey, don't date who you work with.
Right.
Or, hey, opposites always attract when it comes to marriages.
Not the truth.
And for me personally, I know this isn't everybody, but for me, those were not true.
Facts.
What I found was that when Naomi came into my company, we had a strict no dating policy.
Come on.
And it you know, and
discipline.
and it was, hey, we're not going to be dating in the company. It's going to cause for all this drama, all these problems.
I love
so
that.
Naomi and I were great friends for a little bit under 2 years with no intentions of ever dating. To the point where, I mean, it was...
yeah, he liked her. Come on, let's be real. He liked her.
No, I mean...
But you resisted going forward with it. I got you.
Exactly,
I love that.
and that is what built of respect.
Exactly.
And you learn to love someone for their personality, and you learn to love them for what they love about the world. And just like salt, you know, it brings out the flavor. Once you get to learn someone as a friend, when you start to really open up their personality and care for them for who they are, all the other things that you may see more often in the world start to drift to the side, and you get to focus on what matters most, which is
hold on.
Tell
me the challenges of that, though. Because a lot of people that work together, a lot of people who don't, just the challenges in marriage or even in dating leading up to marriage. Give us some challenges and how to overcome them.
Well, I always say that if communication is the key, then trust is the lock. And you need to be able to discern that, you know, because, communication is key. But, you know, once you start to communicate well and you start to get some common threads and some core values, you start to uncover things that can give you trust, which is way more powerful than communication.
So trust and communication could have been a barrier in your relationship, but you learned how to navigate that. And that's kind of what you're telling people.
Communication allowed Naomi and I to get on the same page with our spiritual life and our worldview.
How do you get on communication on the same page? How do you get there?
You have to allow relationships and experiences to be the starting ground for conversation. And with Naomi and I, you know, we're blessed with a wonderful team of people that are very challenging people. You know, Marcell, you're one of them. Blaze, Claire, shout out. You are one of the most challenging. No, you are the most challenging person.
He just will challenge anything. But it's crazy because Blaze is the
when you're
man.
surrounded by people who really love you, and this is another great part about finding a team, is people who understand your high demands. When you understand that these people are here to challenge you, and you get into a good, loving, challenging environment, you don't have to worry about what you're going to talk about. It's naturally going to flow. So Naomi and I had a wonderful chance. We got to the bottom of what we believe in the Word. We've gone to mentors after mentors, Pastor Buck, Pastor Amy, all the rest of our mentors. You know who you are, and you helped us get through some of the most difficult spiritual challenges.
So hold on really quickly. So getting mentorship, getting help, looking outside of your relationship for people who genuinely want to see you grow is a key in helping with communication and building your relationship. Also, getting to the basics and understanding your disagreements and then choosing to be on one accord, choosing to not have division. You know what I mean? Because I think everybody has communication problems, or most people, should I say, but seeking help. It's okay to get help. And they got help, and that helped them in their communication. And basically, you're thriving in that. Like, you're doing good. You guys are able to communicate and talk. And they're kind of, you know how you get to the point where you can read somebody's mind or you can see their body language, you know what's going on. That's kind of what him and my sis got, which I love. So I wanted to also ask you about, bro, your childhood and some of the things that you went through that led you up to here, some of the challenges you faced, maybe insecurities, maybe things that bothered you that you pushed past and now you're kind of either working through or worked through.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's childhood is difficult. We're young, we don't know what we don't know.
We're all just trying to grow and learn.
And I think that being shy and getting yourself out there being open to humiliating yourself was probably the biggest challenge. And young people, young kids, you probably know it as well as, you know, talking to that girl in class or giving that speech for a project. Those moments where you have to expose yourself and be vulnerable. And there's just to let you know, there's nothing to be afraid of. You can just let your colors fly because the right person will see you. And it doesn't matter, you know, Pastor Buck and Amy, the best people.
Shout out Pastor Amy.
They're just the best people. You know, I hope they get on the show someday.
Yeah, definitely.
They taught me that you're only one relationship away from your breakthrough. It doesn't matter how many people you humiliate yourself in front of. You could humiliate yourself in front of 5 million people, but if you find that one person, they could end up being your wife and your business partner. They could grow a family and a legacy, have, you know, kids leading to
you really got to be willing to be yourself. So I think the thing that you dealt with was just being yourself, and then allowing yourself to be yourself attracts the right people to you, the right team, the right spouse, the right friends. But if you're always pretending to be somebody else, you really want to attract the right people. And I think a lot of us dealt with that in childhood, and you push past that to the point where now you attract the right people. And I think that that's awesome. Plus, to be real with y'all, my bro is like an optimistic thinker. You feel me? Like, he sees the beauty. One thing that I love about him is, like, if I'm going through something dark, I can hit him, and he gives me a lighter perspective. And I think that is kind of a power point and, like, a power position that really helped you become successful like you are. How did you get that mentality to just be so optimistic in your thinking? You can tell from this interview.
I think there's a lot of things to it, but an easy way to put it is when you put your positivity goggles on, and you start looking around, you may recognize things that you don't typically recognize. And even if you don't use them in the moment, right, you may remember them later when you need it. And I often refer to it as that spontaneous decision, right? You've got like 2 seconds, you got to make that quick decision on the fly, and you just hope it goes well. If you're a negative thinker, and all you do is recognize negativity or problems, when you got to make that spontaneous decision, all you're going to have is negative options. But if you're a positive thinker and you've identified, well, this is good and I've got all these good things around me, when you need that spontaneous decision, you're going to pick from something positive and it's going to go well.
That's so true. It will go well. If you're expecting, it's like your expectations takes you to another level. You have to expect it. And I love that about you. He always expects the best. And he brings like great people in your circle. So, bro, one thing that I wanted to say like to the people is that you're a great connector. You almost see people like, bro, this person will go good with this will go good with that. And you connect things so well, like business-wise, he's a beast. Like as far as networking, you're a beast. And I think that takes discernment. So I wanted to ask you, how does your relationship with God help you in all of this?
Oh, I mean, it's the center of all of it. And it's funny because, you know, as critical thinkers, you try to figure out what's at the root of everything. And then you discover these epiphanies and you say, oh, if I just would have figured that out earlier. Right. And then you open up the Word and you start reading it and you realize these dudes figured this out like 2,000 years ago. Come on, bro. And it's not new knowledge, and these aren't new things. Sometimes we just need to get out of, you know, whatever you're reading. If it's an R.L. Stein novel, get out of that spooky stuff and jump into something with some faith. Come on.
So it's literally the Word. It's like the Word helps you in God's relationship, the relationship with God. With reading the Word, like open up your Bible, like read God's Word. It will teach you and make you so wise that you too will have an optimistic perspective. I just was speaking to one of my friends about this, how when I pray and I spend time with God, it's not like a ritual. It's not like a religious thing. It's like a connection, a relationship, right? And when I do that, I'll be looking down. Like us as humans, we have this thing where we always look at the worst things that's happening. It's almost like that's our perspective. When I spend time with God, it's like he lifts my face and makes me look up. And when I see up and I see him, it's like everything changes. I now see from his perspective. That's the way God really helps me. And I see that in you. So it shows that you have a relationship with God because you're able to see the beauty in things. And I think that's because God gives you them eyes to see.
And his lessons are, I mean, they're incredible. One of the ones that I got in the Word was the difference between charity and giving. Okay. And this was just revolutionary for how I talk with people, how I communicate with my wife. Okay. Oh, she's my wife. That's awesome.
I know, isn't that crazy, bro? They waited like, hold on, you waited to have sex. So like, bro did not have sex until he got married. How was that?
I mean, the best advice I could ever give you is if you feel like this is your person, even if you've had sex in the past, just wait. Because the second that you get married and you get on that honeymoon, it's worth it.
It's worth it.
But you get to grow so much closer to their heart and their soul and their character, and you don't get blinded by lust. You don't get blinded by some things that really shouldn't get your focus in the first place.
Right. That is so, bro, like, I feel like that's literally what people need to do. You have to not pursue relationships because of sexual things. You have to pursue relationships because of purpose and because of like that person and wanting to draw them closer to who they really supposed to be. And by not having sex, it allows you to really see deeper into them instead of just looking at them as an object. And I think that you did an incredible job with that.
It really helps you build discipline too.
Oh yeah, and discipline.
Because in a marriage, you know, if you want to, for example, we're saving up to buy a house.
Come on.
You have to say, hey, we're not eating out tonight.
Right.
You know, hey,
right.
maybe we can eat ramen for a week.
But you're already used to being disciplined, and it's like you're able to discipline yourself, so therefore it becomes easier.
Right, and you really get to practice with something that is, you know, it's chemical, it's in your body.
Yeah, it's in your body.
If you can fight off the way that your body feels chemically,
right,
then these little things, they're not even
not including the spiritual attacks. Let's keep it a stack. The devil will literally have you tweaking and thinking and all of that stuff, but if you're able to really submit to God, resist the devil, he will flee. Like, all you do is submit. Like, when you read and God tells you something, you just make yourself submit to that, and then you just resist the devil's like, no, I'm cool. And he'll leave you alone. And then you'll elevate. You'll come to another level of just strength, of power, of wisdom, you know what I mean, of influence. So you're an influencer, and I always close my show out with words of wisdom. I always liked it to ask people, like, what are your words of wisdom that you would tell the people that really helped you, like a mantra? So what is something that you would tell the people as far as, like, you know, words of wisdom?
I would say that, you know, there's a lot of things that you can live by. I'll give two. The first is just be positive. If you focus on the good and the positivity in your life, so much is going to come from it. And two, surround yourself with good people. Those people will literally be how God communicates to you. It's how you're going to realize so much about yourself. But make sure you pick them wisely, and just focus on good people like this guy right here.
Hey, thanks, bro. So it's important to not, what he just said, just to speak on it, it's important to not isolate yourself. We're living in a culture where it's like, I don't got no new friends. And you isolate yourself because you don't got time for nobody. But meanwhile, God wants to use people to speak to you. Just make sure they're the right people. Make sure it's the people that's hearing from God that can speak life into you. Because if you surround yourself with negative people, they'll speak death into you. So get out of isolation, get out of your box, go make some friends, go chill with your family, but make sure it's people that speak in life. But y'all already know my mantra. Y'all know what I say. It's time. Find freedom. It's time.
Find God.
Let's go. Peace. We love you, man. See you next time.
The Freedom Experience.